Pet owners of Reddit, what is the biggest flex your pet attempted? We have a specific plant in our garden, euphorbias for garden nerds, and my dog wouldn't stop *************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************The ground is a makeshift fence around them. It worked for a few days, until she crawled past the gap between the plant and the hedge, did a reverse turn, and ********T on my plant again. Persistence at its best. I have 5 cats. The youngest will wait until I clean every litter box in the house and throw the bag in the trash to decide that she wants to poop in one box and then pee in another. I wondered for a while if this is the only time she goes and is just picky about having a clean box, but it's not. This happens literally every time I clean their boxes. She'll sit and watch me as I'm cleaning them too. On time he managed to get 3 tennis balls in his mouth at the dog park. He hasn't been able to do it again since that one time, but he routinely walks around with 2 in his mouth and looks at the other dogs like check me out. My rabbit when I went out of town for a weekend. I lined up someone to stay with her. I was just heading back to my house when I got the call to get home now because the rabbit was acting weird, listless, turning down treats. All things that point to the beginnings of GI stasis, which is bad. I get home and sit with her for about 20 minutes. Yep, she's showing signs. Get her to the emergency vet. $300 for the vet to tell me her diagnosis. Drama queen. The rabbit was just upset that I wasn't home. One time my bat was really mad about bedtime. She flew to the curtain, peeped loudly until I watched, then pooped on the curtain while looking straight at me. She was poop trained and definitely knew what she was ***doing. I adopted this feral calico act and she just barely tolerated me for 19 years. She was a real pain in the ass, especially medically, cost me a small fortune. But hey, I made the commitment. I used to say any day now, it's gonna happen. We're gonna bond. Then, she was suddenly hanging out on my bed. I looked around one night and was like wait. WTF. There's no food or water, no toys, there's nothing up here for you. Unless, is it me? A week later, she died. Made the entire 19 years worth it. Okay, so this is a little gross, just FYI. My golden retriever brought back a whole leg once. A whole leg. From hoof to hip. Saw him walking up from the field and thought he had a big stick, until I saw the pink dangly bits. Absolutely no idea where he got it. I searched our entire 12-acre property and the adjoining neighbor's 20 acres. Didn't find anything. He was so proud of it too. Didn't try to eat it or anything. Just proudly brought it back to show me, like it was his new special stick and I would throw it for him. My mom was horrified. The best part was the dog's name was Buck. One of my dogs used the other dog as a stepping stool to climb up on the couch. Straight up walked up the one laying next to the couch to get up there. Just blatant disrespect. My dog hardly ever barks and is very well behaved. When we go for walks, every dog we walk past in my neighborhood barks ferociously at him. He pees in their yards. Only in their yards. Another one, my friend and at the time roommate's dog got out and ran into the highway. Got hit by a car going 55 miles per hour. The driver took him to the vet. We got the call and go and get him to find out that he had a nutty scratch on his knee. And that's about it. He literally took a hit by a car, was sent flying, and walked away from it with no injuries. My so's dog turns over her food bowl every single time she's left by herself. She'll even do it when she knows you're leaving, but haven't left just yet. My dog very frequently will steal the tissue/napkin/paper that someone is holding, run off with it, begin shredding it. The second they get up to take back their item and yell at him, he loops back around and steals your food. He has tricked my husband out of full slices of pizza on multiple occasions. I bought my 10-pound dogs this gigantic plush bed to put on my side of the bed because I'm tired of sleeping with them. Figured I'd have to baby gate them there for the first few nights, but NBD. The first night it went okay, a little whining, quickly settled down and went to sleep. The second night, my girl dog, who I've had since she was a puppy, decided she was not going to stand for this inhumane mistreatment and literally stood on her back feet and screamed. I've never heard a dog make the F***king noise this bad she was making. I thought she was dying. I moved the baby gate to get to her and she stopped screaming and hopped up on my bed and curled up like she usually does, like nothing was ever wrong. I have a blue heeler. I was moving to Germany and selling things on Let Go. She did not like the idea of people taking our stuff, so she started getting aggressive. So when I saw it starting to happen, when the next customer arrived, she got put in a bedroom. The next time a customer arrived, she grabbed a stuffed animal and put it in her mouth, as if to say I will not act like I will bite someone, and carried the animal around in her mouth the entire time the people were there. Kids petted her, everyone thought she was so cute, etc. For the next 2 weeks as I sold stuff, when people came over, she had a stuffed animal in her mouth. I put my pet mouse in a tall wooden box without a lid because I thought he couldn't climb that high. He shat in the box and covered his paws in it, which I think provided him with the friction required to climb. He made it to the top and I had to put him back into the box, but it was quite impressive. This is definitely my fault because I've encouraged it, but it's still funny. Every day I come home from work and give my two kids a hug or a pat on the head or some show of affection. The dog will whine and follow me around the house until I drop to both knees on the floor and give him a hug. I had a foster dog once, and while we weren't home she somehow scooting her crate all the way into the living room and managed to stick her entire head through the bars to chew through one of the important cords on our TV. So we were left without sound for like 2 months. I showed my new hamster to my best friend and he started pulling his own **T out of his bud with his teeth and threw it at us. The hamster, not the friend. My sand boa, who was at the time thinner than my pinky finger, wrapped himself around my wrist the tightest he could and attempted to eat me. I pulled him off, pat his head, and put him back in his enclosure. Nice try, bud. My cat likes to wake me up every morning at 4 AM meowing loudly and knocking off whatever he can find off my countertop. I decide to put him in me very large bathroom with food, water, toys, bed, and litter box. Poblano then proceeds to take the fattest cat *** I have ever seen in my life in my sink. Edit. I put my cat in my bathroom. I was taking my dog out for a walk. We were about 8 minutes into our walk, and he normally doesn't poop until the end of our walk at about 20 minutes. Then we walk back 20 minutes. He wanted to take a new route, so I was letting him lead, and we pass a house that had 2 really annoying dogs that were howling and just mean growling and barking at him. So he walked back. I turned around and watched as he walked onto the edge of their grass with the fence between them. Then he squatted and took the biggest *** he's ever taken while making eye contact with the dogs. Would have only been better if he could have said leave it. She caught a centipede. It was an awful experience. It was pretty big and I'm guessing crawled up the bathtub drain, as that is where I found the cat after she was crying in there. She's pretty quiet, so I try to answer when she's meowing. I saw the bug, said nice job, as she pawed it around and promptly decided to gtfo as I hate bugs. This is why I got a cat. She'll deal with the bugs, yeah? No, not good enough. She starts crying as soon as I turned around. She wanted me to watch her eat this bug. I'm still so grossed out. Anytime I turned away she'd cry, make sure we had eye contact, and take a bite of the centipede. I had 3 fiddler crabs in a 20-gallon tank. 1 boy and 2 girls. After 3 happy months together I was watching them hang out and the boy grabs one of the girls and rips her arm off. He then grabs her by the other arm and picks her up, then smashes her against the ground repeatedly till I caught him with the net. She died and the other girl lived in constant fear until he himself died of natural causes. I have a bell hanging on my front door that my dogs ring when I need to take them out. My husky started ringing it, and when I got dressed and put my shoes on, she would go lay in my spot on the bed and not go out. Once I called her bluff and didn't get up from the bed, so she ***t on the floor. Absolute power move. I'm at my computer desk, playing Civilization. I had only adopted my cat a few months before this, and he's finally getting to like me. Or at least he likes to watch me do stuff. The desk is one of those L-shaped ones. I have my monitor, where your monitor goes, and I had a glass of water, TV remote, and other stuff on the perpendicular part of the desk. The cat evidently thought you like games. I'll show you some games, and he methodically and calmly pushed every object off the desk with his paw. Slowly, like he'd sit upright beside the remote, and just push it off. Then walk over to a coaster, sit upright beside it, and push it off. I grabbed the glass of water before he could shove that off, but he considered it a moral victory anyway. He flopped down on his side and stared at me like, what you gon' do? We had a kitty with extra toes. He would pick things up to leave in my shoes as gifts. Usually hair ties, a toy mouse, or sometimes paper. At a party, he picked up a $20 bill out of a friend's pocket sitting on the floor. Then in front of everyone walked over and stuck it in my shoe across the room. He was a good kitty. No one would have ever believed me if they didn't see it happen. It was hilarious. Cleaning the kitty litter, I was carrying it back to the spot. She jumped up into while I'm carrying the kitty litter and took a ***T. I had to stay still until she finished. She didn't even cover it. My family were talking about how the cat stopped bringing mice in the house. Next day he brought a rat in. When my dog, a male corgi, was little, we were once on a walk with two female corgis. He tried to be all alpha and pee with his leg up, but he lost his balance. Jumped from the highest point of the cat tree, about 8 feet, halfway across the kitchen, all for a fly in midair. Poor Albus misses it entirely, falls to the kitchen table, hits his midsection on the edge of the table, bounces backwards against the chair, and finally lands on his feet on the floor. Dude shakes it off and continues chasing the fly like nothing happened. He did end up eventually catching the fly. I farted in the living room, so Buster decided to diarrhea all over the rug. We have a raised backyard deck. Had the entrance blocked off, so our dog wouldn't rush down and bark at people walking in the alley. We didn't recognize her determination to tell the garbage truck that this was her PAX turf, and jumped over the railing, a 20-foot drop to the grass. To her credit, she shook it off, slightly winded, ran to the fence, and sure told that garbage truck off. My dad called our cat a lazy, useless SON-OF-A-B****ch. The cat popped into the pasture, caught a mouse, and dropped it on my dad's foot, all in the space of 5 minutes. The mouse was still alive, and I swear the cat made sure to stare my dad down before he ate it. My cat will just flop over and stare at me before I go to work. I know this sounds crazy, but I swear she knows exactly what she's doing. She tried to jump the distance of my swimming pool. She fell in it. She hates water. Great Dane picks up a small sapling and expects me to play fetch with it. Since we're going with attempted, when I was 7 or 8 I had a golden lab puppy. We let her out in the backyard, supervised, and she was running around. She **ZOOMED* down the slope, *LAUNCHED* herself over the canal, made it about 2/3 across, before we heard an enormous splash. She never once got near water again. We put in a swimming pool when I was 12 or so, and she was terrified of it. My current dog, a 45-pound pit bull mix, has been taught that, while I don't mind a lick on the cheek, my wife doesn't like face licks. She's also been taught to do Eskimo kisses. She'll do it a few times over the course of a few days, until she's lulled my wife into a false sense of security, and then she'll come in for a boop and *SCHHLLLUUURP. Asterisk right across my wife's mouth. I get asterisk ALL asterisk the schadenfreude from that. When I was a kid I had a basset hound named Fred, best dog ever. I also have a cat named Patches. Patches was a bit of a troublemaker, so she'd sit on the kitchen table and swat at the dog while we weren't looking, and would pester him into barking and chasing her across the house. So then we'd yell at the dog and she'd just prance by, as if she wasn't at all responsible. That poor dog XD. He was the best, and that cat just pestered the ***T out of him. I just started my fat cats on a diet. The drama is strong. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.